Okay, YouTubers, this will be part 3 of this Secrets of Dealers. It'll work on car dealers and power sports or motorcycle dealerships. Now, I keep running out of space on my camera, my SD card, so that's why I've had to keep these up. This is a pretty long article, and I'm going to post it in the Goldwing Road Riders. It's very informative. I have multiple years of working at dealers. And I've learned a lot through the years that I could pass on to you guys, because the greatest fear of any dealership is an educated customer, and their whole job is to try to keep you stupid so they can make tons of money off you. So here's some things you guys should know, and this will be part 3, and I'm going to try to finish this up on this one today and get it posted. And I started off on this story, and it's a true story, to let you know the attitude of dealers out there. And this dealership I worked for is like the 4th oldest dealership in America, and it shows you how terrible they are. I had a girl come in, and I knew her family. And this dealership I worked for, they basically thought they were God Almighty, and that they held all the power, and that they could, what they said was gold, and they could, anything that they said, you had to do. But this girl come in, worked a job, and she had ran her numbers on what she could afford per month on a vehicle, and what style she wanted and everything like that. So I found the vehicle she wanted, and I wrote it all up, and I put down on the paperwork that I sent to the sales manager of what she could afford per month. And no more than I got out of that room and started back to my desk, I got a call back, Clint, get your butt back in the office. And he goes to say, we set the amount of monthly payments. We hold the power. We are in charge of the customer, and don't you ever forget it, and blah, 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 crap like that. And I said, wait a minute. You get your butt out there and you tell that customer, who will get up and leave. And I was doing this in front of his other 2 managers and his boss. I said, you go talking like that to that customer, because I'm not going to talk to her like that. So you go out there and you tell her that she can't have the price that she can afford, and that she was smart enough to work her payments out. And I said, you go out there and tell my customer to leave and miss my sale. So he goes out there and he spends like 20-25 minutes whenever he comes back. And I said, well, what is it? We'll work out $250 a month. Duh. As salespeople, not only do you have the dealership not working with the salesperson, you don't have the sales management team or the manager working with or helping the salesperson. You people don't know that. That's why it's such a crappy job. And I'm glad I'm not at that crappy place no more. And to be honest, that place, like I said, 4th oldest dealership in America. And their statistics, I've seen them because I went to one of the factory meetings, is all in the bottom rankings. It's their customer service and repeat stuff is horrible. And I wish they would go under. And I tell people don't go there. And I do a lot of that. Here's something. When you go to dealerships and you have these fast-talking salespeople, it's a plot to keep you off balanced, to keep you, they'll say, well, what about this thing? If I work this out, what about if I pull this in and then we do that, or if I get that kind of, and they keep going on like that. Number one, it's a ploy to keep you off your feet and off your toes and keep you from thinking to where they're doing all the thinking for you. And this is an old sales technique. It's a bunch of crap, and don't fall for it. I'm here. I'm going to finish this off. This article took me years and years and years of in the field experience, and my time in sales, I truly hated it. When I first started, I would get anxiety attacks, and my hands would get sweaty, and I'd get little pimples and red dots popping up on my hands because I was so full of anxiety about talking to people and stuff like that. But through the years, all that has gone away, and I got really good at sales. And there's times when you connect with that customer and they like you and you like them, you could sell them, or as my saying would go, I could talk the skirt off a nun. And there's days I could do that. But there's other days when the people come in with a bad attitude. And these people that come in, they're throwing bad energy and cussing and this and that and the other thing around. They don't realize, they think that they're creating respect and other stuff like that. And all they're doing is, I'm going to give you a crappy deal if you buy. Or I will, me as a salesman, I'm going to make your experience here miserable. And people don't realize that they create their own problems when they're walking into dealerships like that. Y'all just need to keep a stiff upper lip and go through all these things that I've talked about in this article. Like I said, the greatest fear that the dealership has is a customer with lots of knowledge of a product. Know what you want to buy, know the color, know your insurance, have your insurance already worked out, shop for financing, because normally at a motorcycle dealership, they are going to rape you with high interest. If you have a credit union, you can get great rates. I bought a new truck, and just to make it quick for the purchase, I used their financing, which was 5%. And then I went to my credit union, flipped the loan, and I knocked it down to less than 2%. I was able to take a full year of payments off that. That's how much interest I saved. And then when I got over the road driving truck, I made huge payments, and I paid that booger off quick. I don't like payments. And that's from a salesperson. But you guys need to remember, it's y'all need to be in control. Dealers have tons of people in the background that are working on ways to sell more. That's all they want to do is sell more. And if you're going to shop, do it online. Get on a computer and do it online. Don't go there and because every time you step in front of a salesman, that salesman has the attitude, I'm going to sell to you today. And if you had the attitude that, well, I'm just shopping, and if that salesman figures that out, number one, if he likes you, he'll try to build a rapport with you to set up a way, that you'll come back. If you're just shopping and you as a customer, you're just pissing on his boots, well, hey, I got better things to do, and I'm not going to give you any information that you're asking for. So, see ya! And that's what a salesman will do to you. And that's where all these, problems between the salesman and the customer get about. The day, we have the internet and other stuff like that, you should be able to check within a 5-state area, of a lot of pricing and stuff like that. I drove 7 hours to go save $1,700 on a 4-wheeler. And then after I got back to this area, I went to that dealership that I didn't buy from, and I told that salesman, who was a jerk to me, I said, I bought that 4-wheeler, and I sure as hell didn't buy it from you guys. So you learn a lesson from that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, But get all your ducks in a row before you go looking. And guys are the worst ones that don't do that. Guys will go out looking for a truck, car, motorcycle, whatever, won't have a job, just looking for a job, or just about to get a job, or just had a baby. You know, them are things that really wipe your credit out, and you can't really do stuff like that. And guys are the hardest to sell to. I remember a young guy who had a baby, was looking for something he could help haul the family in, and he wanted a freaking Firebird. You know, and I'm like, dude, you need this 4-door car so you can put your family in. But man, I'm gonna not look popular by doing that. So what's wrong with you? Can't you think? And part of that is the people don't want the salesman to think for them, but then people can't think for themselves when they're in them situations like that. So this is all gold information for you guys to learn about salespeople and about how to interact with them and all. You know, the worse you treat them, the worse they will give you a deal. I've had a guy come in, I remember he was just the worst person in the world. I didn't work him a good deal. I didn't give him no extra gas. I didn't give him no hats or t-shirts, crap like that. And I basically threw his four-wheeler in the back of his truck, and he didn't even bring tie downs. And I closed the lid and get out of here. I didn't tie it down or nothing like that. I didn't care. And I walked off from him. And every time he came back, he acted worse than he did before, and I would go hide somewhere else. Or I'd go tell the sales manager, I said, dude wants to talk to you out there. So, throw the heat off of me onto somebody else. But these are great. This is great information. I'm sorry it was so long, but it is a long article that I wrote. And I've got other good articles, and I'll post them on my website, and we'll get them up and going. So, you guys have a good one. I hope y'all learn a lot from this, and we will see you on the road.